My name is Dr. Thomas. I have been practicing diabetic foot from the last 12 to 14 years. Trained for more than 6 years. Had the opportunity to treat more than 5,000 patients of diabetic foot in the past. Basically, when we talk about diabetic foot and hyperbaric oxygen, I think we need to know what the neuropathic element of diabetes or the vasculopathy part of diabetes and its role and how it causes tissue ischemia or hypoxia, and hence how oxygen is important in wound healing. When we talk about neuropathy, we know there is a reduced sensation, and because of this reduced sensation there is insensitivity to touch, pain, temperature. The motor element of neuropathy builds up callus because of the deformities, and these deformities leads to pressure points, building up of calluses. These calluses raise the pressure while walking, leading to tissue ischemia. And when we talk about autonomic neuropathy, we know there is a shunting of blood through the AV shunts, again causing tissue ischemia. Basically, everything, whether it is neuropathy, whether it is vasculopathy, whether it is a neuropathic foot, vasculopathic foot, or a neuroischemic foot, everything boils down to tissue ischemia and hypoxia. And the need for oxygen, which usually is carried or which is always carried through blood, bound to hemoglobin, the oxyhemoglobin, the need for oxygen for wound healing is till the last stage of skin migration. It is said the amount of oxygen required for skin migration, that is the last stage of wound healing, is approximately 600 to 700 millimeter of mercury. Now, when you measure a transcutaneous oxygen pressure in a diabetic patient, any transcutaneous oxygen pressure of 40 and above, we have positive. We know the wound is going to heal. So do these patients require hyperbaric oxygen? Yes, they also need hyperbaric oxygen. And patients who have got less TCPO2 in the range of 30 and 40, definitely yes. Somewhere below 20, do they need? Yes. They are the candidates who go for revascularization, but still hyperbaric oxygen is going to benefit them also, because what we are looking at is a good oxygen environment which reduces the infection level, at the same time promotes angiogenesis. These are the two things what we are looking at in a diabetic foot, and I think hyperbaric oxygen covers both these elements. My experience with diabetic foot is I have been on an average sending 3 to 4 patients per month for hyperbaric oxygen when we had this facility in the outskirts of Mumbai, or when the patient had to travel for hours together in this peak. But still, I used to send, and always I have got benefit out of it, or rather my patients have benefited out of it. Now, how many sittings of hyperbaric is required? That could be your next question. It depends on what I have seen. My personal experience is I think it depends on the pre-existing hypoxic condition in that patient. Some patients show marked improvement with the same kind of wound, with the same, more or less same amount of vascular status. They respond better. However, there are a few patients who respond slightly late. And those small things which decides as to how many sitting one particular patient for that particular wound requires, I think it depends on patient to patient. And let me be very clear, I am yet to see a patient who has not responded to hyperbaric oxygen therapy, but definitely I would say every patient differs, and